Okay. So we will still using the same slide. You can open your slide or you can see from here. So we will do a few question. Ada, I think quite few lah, 5, 6, 7 juga lah. So we will do it together, and you can do on your own with the new tutorial set that I share in the classroom. So for today, okay, let's see. I hope you still remember the Bernoulli equation and the continuity equation, because you will use that equations in solving this problem. Okay, so if you have any question or you did not understand it, just ask me, just interrupt me, feel free. Don't let your curiosity unanswered after the class. Okay, let's see. Figure 6.7 shows a siphon that is used to draw water from a swimming pool. The pipe that makes up the siphon has an inside diameter of 40 mm and terminates with a 25 mm diameter nozzle. Kat sini, ujung ni. Sorry. Okay, so this is inside diameter 40 mm and terminate at this nozzle 25 mm. Assuming that there are no energy losses in the system, okay, if you can recall why they always mention this in an equation, because in any system there will always be energy loss. Okay, so Bernoulli equation actually cannot be applied. You can apply, but you need to consider the energy loss. So that's why normally in questions they will stated that assuming there's no energy loss, assuming this, because all of the conditions that we have discussed before need to comply and to use Bernoulli equation. So that's why it says here, assuming that there are no energy losses in the system, calculate the volume flow rate. The volume flow rate, if you still remember, I hope you still remember, for continuity equation, volume flow rate is Q. So they ask you to find the Q through the siphon and the pressure at points B to E. The point B, C, D and E. So they ask you to find the pressure at all points. Okay, PB until E. Okay, so it's a quite long work lah. Okay, how you can do this? Okay, it's very easy. It's not too complicated. First, as I always suggest you to write the continuity equation. Right? So A1 V1 equal to A2 V2. Okay, continuity equation, remember Q1 equal to Q2n. Okay, and you can rearrange your equation to V1 equal to A2 V2 over A1. So this is your first equation. The next one is to write your Bernoulli equation. Bernoulli equation. Okay, so you have P1 over rho G plus Z1 plus V1 squared over 2G equals to P2 over rho G plus Z2 plus V2 squared over 2G. Okay, so this is your Bernoulli equation, and in this question you need to know all of the fixed information what you have here, as this is a very large tank reservoir. Okay, we know we already discussed the velocity at point A is relatively large compared to the outlet. So this is the outlet of the nozzle. So because of the surface area at A is very large compared to F, so the velocity at A, it should be we assume is 0. So it's very small and it is negligible, so that's why we assume it is 0. Okay, and the pressure at point A, because it is open to atmosphere, right, and that's why we also consider the pressure at point A is 0. So in this case they already gave it to you, okay, the information, the PA equal to 0 and the velocity also 0. Okay, if they didn't give it to you this information, you need to know by yourself lah. Okay, you have to know all of this information. So it's different application, we have different information. And as well the pressure at point F, because it is released to atmosphere, okay, we also assume the pressure F is 0. Okay, so to calculate the volume flow rate, you need to find you need to find the velocity, so you need to use A times V to find your volume flow rate. Okay, so how you can do this? It's very easy. Okay, because there are many points, A, B, C, D, E and F, you have to choose a point that will help you to solve the equation. In this case, at point A, right, you have a lot of term that is 0, so this is the best point lah you can take to solve at any point and at any other point. Okay, so let's so we take point A and we want to find the velocity at the outlet nozzle, so there's VF. Okay, so and then we take point F. Okay, so because at point A the pressure is 0, so this can be cancelled out. Okay, so P1 ni PA lah, A, and P2 ni ke F. Okay, and we know the velocity at A also 0, so this is also 0. Okay, and Z1 and Z2 you have there is a value, so Z1 and ZF, so you need to know this. Z1 berapa dia punya elevation, and Z2 this is 0 lah, because this is your reference point, so that means your ZF or Z2 here is 0. Okay, and Z1 ZA ni you need to calculate lah, 1.8 plus 1.2 kan, that's your Z1. And so you also have pressure at point F is 0, so that means your P2 is also equal to 0. Okay, so that's will leave you only two terms here, Z1 and V2 squared, kan? Okay, so this you can write your equation now. You will become right. So ZA sama dengan is equal to VF squared over 2G. Okay, you want to find VF, so VF equal to 2G times ZA set. Okay, so this is berapa? Can someone calculate? 2 times 9.81 times ZA, 1.8 plus 1.2, so it's 3.
7.67.
Okay, so 7.67 meter per second. So this is your velocity at F, right? So they ask you to find calculate the volume flow rate. So now you can calculate your volume flow rate at F is equal to QF. So area at F times velocity at F. So the area at F, okay, they gave you the diameter 25 millimeter. Okay, so you need to change that in meter and divide by 2. So it is pi times 25 bagi 2 apa? 12.5 kan? Bagi 1000 0.0 125. Betul ke ni? 1, 2, 3.
10 je. 0.0125.
Okey, tak dia. 0.0125 square times 7.67. Okey. Berapa jawapan dia? What's the answer?
3.765
3.76 times
65 times 10 power of negative 3
-3. The unit is
meter per second.
Remember, it's a volume flow rate. Volume flow rate. Meter
per second.
Meter per second velocity.
Meter per second.
Volume flow rate.
Meter cube per second.
Meter cube per second. Okay. Always check your unit. Don't rush. Okay. They ask you about volume flow rate, and it should be meter cube per second lah. That's your first question. Baru satu dah panjang lah. Habis senang je kan? So because you know all this term and you can cancel out everything. Okay, and it will left you with this simplest equation, and you can solve you can get the velocity and you can find your volume flow rate. Okay, this is the first question. Okay, next, so they ask you to find PB, pressure at B, until pressure at E. So B, C, D, E. F tu sekali Sorry, F sekali. Nak tak tanya. B, E je. B to E Okay, first we solve the B first at point B. Okay, again, because we have the term at point A, there are a lot of term that is 0. So we always take point A lah to compare kan. Okay, so we take point A and point B. A, B. Okay, so again you need to write your Bernoulli equation because you want to find the pressure kan. Okay, so PA over rho G plus ZA plus VA squared over 2G equals to PB over rho G plus ZB plus VB squared over 2G. Okay, again we know PA is 0, VA is 0, okay, and ZA and ZB is the same, okay, because it's horizontal line kan. Okay, is 1.8, so that means you can cancel out the Z term. Okay, because it's not 0 but it's the same, that you can cancel out your ZA and ZB. So it will leave to you only this term lah, PB and VB. So you arrange a back PB over B rho G plus VB squared over 2G equal to 0. Okay, you want to find PB kan. Okay, so you want to find PB, so arrange the equation to as PB is the main thing. So bring all your terms to the right. So VB squared over 2G, okay, and this is times rho G, you can cancel out G lah, okay, of course. So it left you negative VB squared over 2 times rho, okay. Okay, so but you don't have the VB kan? How to find VB? How you can find the VB? From what equation? Anyone? VB, V kat sini. Tadi kita dapat apa? Ni kan?
Guna continuity equation.
Okay, yes, that's right. But and then continuity equation. Okay, we have the Q, kan? So you have the Q. So the Q here sama kat sini kan? Sama kat sini. Sama kat sini, sama kat sini kan? The Q kan sama kan? Q1 equal to Q2 kan? Continuity equation kan? And you already find your Q 3.76 times 10 to the minus 3. Okay, that's you have the area for this pipe. Okay, they give you the 40 millimeter inside diameter, so you can find your velocity at point B. Kan? So Q dengan AV, you want to find V. So V equals to Q over A, and you have your Q equal to 3.76 times 10 minus 3 over A pi 40 millimeter divided by 2, 20 divided by 1000, 0.02 squared. Okay, so what's the value for V? V at B. Berapa nilai V? Berapa? Ya, dia masuk dia. Allah dia. Tolong kira ni, berapa dapat V?
2.996.
Okay, dah. You get
2.996
meter per second. So this V actually for VB, VC, VD and VE lah, because all the same kan, the continuity equation. So you already find your Q at F before, so this will be same at QE, QD, C and B lah, and the area for BCD the same. So this you can the velocity, you can use this velocity lah for all this point. Okay, now you have your VB, and then you can substitute back in this equation to find your PB. So PB sama dengan negative 2.996 squared over 2 times rho of the water 1000. So this will give you your PB. Berapa PB? Negatif berapa? 3 squared 9 bagi 2 1.5. 3 squared 9 bagi 2 4.5. Lebih kurang 4,000 4,500. Ada orang kira ke ni?
negative 4488. 88.880.
8.0 kan?
0.
488 Okay, so this is a unit. Don't forget your unit. What is the unit for pressure?
PA, Pascal.
Pascal. Okay, don't forget your unit. Okay, this is pressure at point B kat sini. And it is negative. Okay, so that means to push the water go inside B. Apa kat sini? Okay, so that's your pressure at point B. And you need to find at point C pula, and kalau they ask you to find point C. Okay, ada orang tanya soalan ke? Apa tu? Copy paste link Okay, if you want to ask a question, just ask. Okay, B4490 sama lah 4488. And C, okay, again you need to take point A to compare with C and write your Bernoulli equation yang tadi juga. Okay, PA over rho G plus ZA plus VA squared over 2G sama dengan P at C rho G plus ZC plus VC squared over 2G. So PA is 0, VA is 0. Okay, you cannot cancel Z because it's different Z. So ZA and ZC lain. You have you want to find PC. You have VC, the velocity in the pipe 2.99 tadi, and you have ZA. So you want to find PC, and so you arrange the PC. So PC over rho G sama dengan ZA minus ZC minus VC squared over 2G. Okay, so ZA is equal to apa ZA? 1. You take your any reference point kalau you take from here, so you need to 1.8 plus 1.2. Okay, so this your PC over rho G sama dengan ZA 1.8 plus 1.2. Okay, and minus ZC. So ZC, so because you take the reference point at this bottom line, 1.2 plus 1.8 plus 1.2. So it is 1.2 plus 1.8 plus 1.2. Okay, minus your VC squared. So you have your VC 2.997 tadi squared over 2G. So berapa kalau awak kira ni? Dapat 3 tolak 3 tolak 4.2 tolak tu. Berapa dapat? Apa kat sini? Ada jawapan?
Dapat negatif 1.657.
Negatif dah darab PG sekali lah, rho G sekali.
Oh, belum.
Cuba darab ni sekali, dah dapat PC. Pressure at C. So ni tolak ni, itu darab dengan rho times G.
Dapat negatif 16 26 3
16 26
263.
3 unit Pascal Okay, so this is the same with sila so betul lah. So this is your PC Okay, and PD berapa PD? Perlu kira tak PD ni? Pressure at point D.
Tak perlu.
So what's the value?
Sama dengan B.
Yes. So PD sama sini sebab dia sama ni kan, sama apa? Line je. So D sama dengan ni lah Nanti 4490. Okay, to find E similarly, okay, you apa? Do the same with what you have done for C and B. So just take point A and compare with your point E. Okay, but the difference will be on your term ZE ni mesti kosong lah sebab you take your reference point kat sini kan. So apa, if you write, just tulis lah so PA over rho G plus ZA plus VA squared over 2G sama dengan E over rho G plus ZE plus VE squared over 2G. Okay, so sama juga, you cancel out your 0 and VA also 0 and ZE because is at the bottom line and this is your reference point kan. So ZE is 0 lah. Okay, so is 0 and you have your VE, you have your ZA and you can find your PE lah kat sini berapa PE kat sini. So berapa kalau awak kira dapat sama tak dengan jawapan yang atas ni? So ZA will be 1.2 plus 1.8 VE 2.997 squared. Dapatlah, patutnya dapatlah jawapan dia kan. Dapat jawapan. Two four nine three 8.9. Anyone got it? Pressure at point E.
Sir, velocity E berapa?
Sama lah ni, E kan sama cakap dia, sama je dengan yang ni awak kira ni.
Okay.
Because it's continuity equation kan. So and this same pipe. Okay, it's not different area pun. So VB, VC, VD, VE ni sama lah dia punya velocity. Satu lagi sini, VB sama dengan VC, VD and VE. So berapa dapat pressure at E?
Saya dapat 24.941.
Sama dengan atas ni 24 point. Awak dah kira kilo Pascal ke apa?
24941.
24941.
24941. Lebih kurang lah mungkin your decimal places is different, so is correct lah, your calculation is correct. So this is your answer lah, 24941 Pascal. Okay, maybe some of you take 2.99 ke ada yang tak ambil 3 ke, so it should the same. The answer may be different, but is all of them is correct. Okay, so understand again why the velocity at B, C, D and E is the same, because it is the same pipe. You already find your velocity through this continuity equation. Okay, so that's why velocity at point B, C, D and E sama lah. Okay, F ni lain kan, F ni kat luar. So F ni awak cari tadi tu, awak cari kat mana? Ada ke awak cari? Tak ada. Ada ke? Ada sini kan. Ni VF. Okay, ni VF kat luar kan. So it's higher because the area is smaller, so that's why it's higher. Okay, so how is it? Senang? Senang je kan? Ini soalan pasir jugalah and I think it's quite 12 markah kot kan. Okay, I hope you understand how you can solve this problem. Okay, so let's see another example. Ada orang baru masuk Okay, let's see the next question. The water flows through a pipe at a rate of 170 liter per second. So this is your Q kan? Q dibagi 170 liter per second. Okay. The pressure difference between the two pipe section is measured by a mercury manometer. The specific gravity of mercury they gave you 13.6, so you can find the rho of the mercury. Determine the deflection H, so they ask you to find this H berapa. Okay, so first, how you can change this 170 into meter cube per second? The Q, because they give you the Q in liter per second, you need to change that in meter cube per second. Berapa? Macam mana saya tukar? Liter into 2 cube, meter cube. But if you don't change this into meter cube, you cannot answer this question. So it's very important here kat sini. Macam mana tukar ni ke meter cube per second? Anyone? Macam mana liter and meter cube?
Tak tahu je.
Tak tahu? Anyone yang lain nak bantu?
Bahagi 1000.
Ha?
Bahagi 1000.
Bahagi 1000.
1000 kan? Bahagi 1000 and 1 meter cube sama dengan 1000 liter kan? Okay, you divide by 1000 lah, so that you can cancel out this liter. Alright, so it will be 0.17 meter cube per second. So make sure you understand, okay, how to convert this, because if you stuck here, you cannot answer this question. And this question normally give you 12 marks. So 12 markah banyak kan dalam test. Okay, and it should give you 12 per 12 lah. Because it's quite easy, because you just use the continuity equation, use the Bernoulli equation, and you can find you can solve the problem. So this is the Q, the volume flow rate. Okay, and you know the row of the mercury kat sini 13,600 lah okay. Okay, now you want to find H. Okay, so you have one inlet. Okay, let's say this is 1 and this is 2 okay, one inlet and outlet. So they give you the diameter. Okay, so this means you can get your area 1 kat sini and they also give you the diameter 2. Okay, so you can get A2 kat sini. Okay, and what else you have? A dah. Okay, dah itu je lah Okay, now we solve the question. First, your Bernoulli equation. Apa Bernoulli equation? P1 kita ambil point 1 over rho G plus Z1 okay, plus V1 squared over 2G okay, equal to pressure at point 2 P2 over rho G plus Z2 plus V2 squared over 2G. Okay, let me ask you what term that we can cancel out in this equation? Apa yang kita boleh cancel out?
Z.
Zn. Because it's the same elevation, Z1, Z2. You can cancel out Z1 and Z2. Yang lain semua tak boleh kan? P1, you need to find P1. You need to find P2, V1, V2. Semua tak ada yang kosong-kosong, so tak boleh cancel lah. So this will, you can write rearrange your equation in term of P1 minus P2 Why? Because you have this manometer. Okay, and this manometer usually will tell you the difference kan, the pressure difference P1 minus P2 or P2 minus P1. So that's why always write your Bernoulli equation in term of P1 minus P2 if you have manometer in the question. Okay, this is the manometer. Okay, they give you the mercury manometer. So you need to arrange this in terms of P1 minus P2. So P1 minus P2 over rho G equal to V2 squared minus V1 squared over 2G. Okay, so that we can cancel out this. Allah, alamak, hilang. Penat saya tulis. Aduh, semula tali andu lah. Ini andu. Dia terpadam. Semula. Tadi dah saya ulang balik kat sini lah. Saya tulis balik Bernoulli equation. So P1 over rho G plus Z1 plus V1 squared over 2G equal to P2 over rho G plus Z2 plus V2 squared over 2G. So you say you can cancel out this, and we want to arrange the equation in terms of P2 minus P1, P1 minus P2, and this is V2 squared over minus V1 squared over 2, and this is times rho Okay, so we bring the rho G to the other side and we cancel out the G. Okay, so this is your equation. And what else we know? Tadi kita tahu ada area A1 and we have A2 and we have Q kan. Jadi saya cakap dia apa? Q sama dengan 170 bagi 1000 This is 0.17 meter cube per second. Okay, now you can use your continuity equation to find V1 and V2, correct? Betul tak? Okay, so your Q sama dengan A1 V1 A1 V1 equal to A2 V2. Okay, so you have your Q 0.17. So you divide by A1. Berapa A1? Pi times 18 bahagi 2 9 bagi 100 0.09 square. Berapa ni dapat for V1? Berapa V1?
6.68.
6.68 meter per second. And V2 0.17 sama, the Q is same. Okay, continuity equation, and divide by area V2 pi times 10 bahagi 2 5 0.05 0.05 square. Berapa?
21.6.
21.6 meter per second. So you have your V1 and you have your V2. Now just put back in your equation. Berapa dapat P1 minus P2? Sama dengan V2 squared 21.6 squared minus V1 squared 6.68 squared over 2 times water flow, so 1000. Berapa ni dapat P1 minus P2? What is the value for the pressure difference P1 minus P2? Berapa? 21.6 squared minus 6.68 squared divided by 2 times 1000. Siapa-siapa yang dah kira, just give me the answer.
Two one
21
0
210
698
698.8.
0.8. Yes.
So
698.8.
Oh, 698.8, sorry. So 210,698.8. Yang lain dapat sama juga
Sama
210,698.8.
Sama.
Okay. So so this is your P1 minus P2 Okay, now next step. Okay, you got your P1 minus P2. You need to use your last step like I did in our lecture, manometer analysis Okay, so you take point 1 and point 2. Okay, kat sini. So P1, okay, kat sini P1, and then you have to go down again because it doesn't give you any height here. Kat sini dia bagi H sampai sini kan, H kat sini, H ni H ni H ni H, but you don't have any height from your P1 sampai ke sini kan. So you need to introduce any height lah. Let's say it is A. Okay. But if you don't have that, you cannot write your manometer equation kan. So P1 plus rho of the water, G times A. So we go down sini, and then you plus rho water GH, and then your point is here now, and you can move your point to here. So you go up, then you minus, so rho mercury GH, and so kat sini. Now you want to finish your point at point 2, so you go up, so there's minus again, minus rho water G A kan. So this is A kan, you have already set down to A, so this is equal to P2. Betul? Understand tak ni? The manometer.
Faham sir.
Okay, just ask me if you don't get it. Okay, now you can cancel out this, because this is apa, ni minus ni sama, boleh potong. So bring your P1 to and P2 in one side, because you already get your P1 minus P2 value. So this is P1 minus P2, and you bring this term to the right hand side. So there will be rho of the mercury times G times H minus rho of water times G times H, and this you can bring your G outside, GH, rho mercury minus rho rho water, and tadi value apa kat sini tadi? 210,698 210,698.8. Okay, so they ask you to find H kan. Okay, that's why when you introduce A, you already
Sir.
tu
21096.
ni salah.
210,968.
Oh, jap saya cancel. Okay. Ini dapat sama juga. Tadi kita dapat sama tadi. Apa 210
968.
968.
8.
Betul lah sini 210. Oh 98. Okey salah. Okay, so 210,968.8.
Yes.
Okay. So sama dengan G times H times rho mercury minus rho water. So this is 9.81 times H times rho mercury 13,600 minus rho of water 1,000. Okay, you can find your H lah. Berapa H dapat? So divide bring to the other side and divide, and you get your H. Berapa? Dapat tak 1.715? Anyone get 1.715?
Berapa sah jawapan dia?
Tu 1.715.
Dapat
Kalau
1.706.
Sama dah tu 1.7, so 1.1 meter. So this is your last answer lah. Okay. So imagine all your step ni, if you cannot change this Q, because they give you in liter per second, if you cannot change this in the standard unit, it will affect all your calculation lah. Okay, and this question normally will give you 12 marks. So if you can solve this, you easily can get 12/12. So make sure you understand how you can answer the question. Okay, faham? Boleh? Ada soalan?
Tak ada sir.
Yang lain-lain?
Tak ada sir.
Tak ada.
So don't be afraid if you don't understand. Don't let people if you want to ask, just ask. Okay, don't afraid with other people. You want to know, alright. Okay, so this is second question. Sebelah baru 2 soalan. Ada banyak gini. Okay, next one. This is venturi meter. Okay. Okay, alright. The venturi meter shown in figure 6.8 carries water at 60 degrees. The specific gravity of the gauge fluid in the manometer is 1.25 kat sini Fluid yang biru gelap sikit ni kan. Kat sini ni. Sampai sini. Dia kata dia bagi 1.25. So you can find the row lah. Calculate the velocity of flow at section A. Kat sini dia nak VA and the volume flow rate of water. So dia nak juga Q. Okay. Siapa nak buat? Ada nak buat. How we can solve this question? Okay. Let's do it together. So first step, you write your continuity equation kan. Okay. Continuity equation. So A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Okay. You can write that in, let's say, no, tak ada yang kosong. So V1 equal to A2 times V2 over A1. This is first equation. Allah, dia tekan ni dia padam. Sebelah. Satu CE, okay, continuity equation. Q A1 V1 A2 V2, so V1 A2 V2 over A1. Okay. And next is your Bernoulli equation. Okay. Your Bernoulli equation, point A and point B. So P A, this is your interest point kan. Dia nak apa cari point A. So you have another point B. So that's your two interest point. So PA over rho G plus ZA plus VA squared over 2G sama dengan PB over rho G plus ZB plus VB squared over 2G. So this is your Bernoulli equation. Can we cancel out any terms? Adakah term yang kita boleh cancel out?
ZA
and ZB. Is it? Can we cancel out the Z term? Anyone?
Tak.
Tak ada kan? Sebab ZA, ZB bukan sama kan? Lain kan?
Dia kat atas kat bawah.
So you know the difference between ZB and ZA. So they give you the ZB minus ZA is 0.46 meter. Okay, so you have ZB minus ZA sama dengan 0.46 meter. So ZB here and ZA here. So let's say ZA is 0. Okay, you can cancel out ZA if you take ZA0 kan. Okay, betul lah tadi siapa? If you want to cancel out ZA, you can do that. If you take point A ni your reference point. Okay, so this is 0 and this is 0.46. You can do that as well. Or you can do ZB minus ZA is 0.46. So yeah, you're right tadi siapa cakap dia tu. You can cancel out one term of Z. Only one, not two. Okay. Okay, so but now I take ZB minus ZA 0.46. Now you rearrange your equation. Okay, because you have a manometer, ada manometer juga kat sini. Okay, so that means you have to write your pressure difference. Okay, PA minus PB over rho G. Okay, you bring your PB to the other side, equal to VB squared minus VA squared over 2G plus ZB minus ZA, and we know ZB minus ZA is 0.46. Okay, ZA you bring to the right hand side, so it will be ZB minus ZA and it's 0.46. Okay, so this is your equation. Okay, so tak solve lagi kan, banyak lagi ni, panjang dia kerja dia ni. So what is the next step? Let me add another slide first so that we have more space. Okay. Okay. Alright. So we have this term, and now for manometer analysis. Okay, number 3, your manometer analysis. Okay, at point A sampai point B, so PA plus apa? You go down, this is Y. Okay, so rho of water gy kat sini, and you go down bawah lagi, rho water G times 1.18. Okay, kat sini, jadi kat sini, and then you put your point here, and then you go up, so that is minus rho of the gauge fluid. So gauge fluid ni bagi ada rho dia, so I put rho F lah, rho of the fluid times G times 1.18. Okay, so your point is here now, and then minus rho water Gy kat sini, and then you go up lagi, rho water G 0.46 sampai dah kat sini, and this is your equal to PB. So understand this manometer equation, and then you can cancel out this term, rho water Gy boleh padam sama, and yang lain ni tak boleh. So bring back your pressure difference to one side, so PA minus PB equal to and then bring all of this rho GH term to the right hand side, and you have rho water G times 0.46, and then plus rho of the gauge fluid times G times 1.18 minus rho water G times 1.18. Okay, and you have all the value. Rho water 1000 times 9.81 times 0.46, okay, plus row of the gauge fluid 1.25 times 1000, that means 1250 times 9.81 times 1.18 minus row of water times G times 1.18. Okay, what's the value here? PA minus PB. Can someone calculate it? Berapa dapat?
7406.55.
Yang lain yang dapat sama juga ke? 7406.5.
06.55.
Sama sir.
Sama So this
Sama,
is
sir.
Pascal kan? Okay. So now you have the value for PA minus PB, and you also get your equation kat sini kan? So you replace back your value inside this equation. Okay? So you replace back the value and you will get, okay, kita tulis kat sini. So 7406.5 ni PA minus PB over rho G, rho 1000.9.81, okay, sama dengan VB squared minus VA squared divide by 2G plus 0.46. Okay. Now we still cannot solve the question because we have two unknown, VB and VA, and because they asked you to find the velocity at point A, so they asked you to point VA. So what we do? Apa kita buat? How to solve this? Anyone? What we have in the first place? Ni.
Ada area.
Ha? Okay, ni kan your continuity equation kan? Okay, you have to change your VB in term of VA lah, kan? So you have two unknown, VB and VA. You want to find VA, so you need to change your VB in term of VA, kan? Okay, you have here kat sini. So this one ni VA lah. I take apa? Let's say this VA and VB and AB, AA. Kita balik lah sini Kita ada area, dia bagi area tu kan. So A1, AA, VA sama dengan AB, VB. Okay. So you want to find VB in term of VA. Okay. So VB equals to AA times VA over AB. Okay. And you have your AA, so this pi times r squared, and you have your AB, pi times r squared, and VA tak tahu lah nak cari kan. So you can change your VB in terms of VA. Okay, AA sama dengan pi kali A 300 mm bagi 2 1/2 bagi 1000 0.15 square over VAB pi 200 bagi 2 100 bagi 1000 0.1. So pi r square okay, and VA. Okay, so you can cancel all the pi. So what's the value for VB in terms of VA? 0.15 squared over 0.1 squared. Apa nilai? 2.25 VA Okay. So this VB term just put back inside your equation here. Okay. So now you get VB 2.25 VA squared. VA. So this is all squared minus VA squared over 2G plus 0.46. Okay, ni kat sini berapa dapat ni? So you have your PA, PB kan kat sini. Oh, sama. Sorry. We put here lah. Because we have this term already 7406. So this is equal to 2.25 VA squared minus VA squared over 2G plus 0.46. Okay. Berapa nilai ni? In term of V squared lah, VA squared 2.25 squared tolak 1 tolak V1 kan, berapa dapat? Berapa kat sini? Belah kanan ni. In term of VA. Nampak belum?
Tambah sekali dengan 0.46 tu kan sir?
Tambahlah.
Dapat 2.03 darab 10 kuasa negatif 3
darab 10 push V squared, VA squared. Okay. You will get the same. Okay. And now you can find VA lah kan. You have everything. So you have 7406.5 divide by 981. Kau ni darab 1681. And you have the value. Divide by this term and set of that value, you will get your VA. So berapa VA? Dapat sama tak dengan 1.2 kat sini jawapan dia? Dapat? Oh, tak dapat. Macam mana? Dah dapat, ada yang dapat dah? VA equal to hello? Baik. Macam mana? Dah dapat ke? Kita putus ni.
Sekejap sir. Nak kira lagi.
You have everything here. 7406.5 divided by 9.81. Divide by this, because someone have give the answer for this value, 2.03 times 10 to minus 3, and then set only v squared, you want v, only v. Seven point 06.5 1 divided 3 times 3. Nampak apa lain InsyaAllah kot 2.03 ni. I think this is wrong. Ada dapat sama juga ke 2.03 ni? Okay, 2.25 squared minus 1 over 2 times 9.81 plus 0.46. 0.667.
5.0.
Betul tak?
2.2.
I get
Dapat tu.
0.667 VA squared. And if you divide that 981 bagi 0.667, set answer 3.3.
Sir, yang bawah tu 9810 jadi 9000.
Oh salah sini. Ni
Ha.
Oh, okay. So what's the answer now? Betul lah dapat VA tu 1.2. Tadi ke dapat 1.2 tu? 9180 bahagi 0.67. So answer. Itulah 1.2 kan?
0.755 itulah 0.46. Itulah 0.
Betul tak dapat 1.2?
Itulah 0.46. 0.207. Betul sir.
Dapat sir.
Betul lah?
1.2.
Betul lah. So it's just a mathematical operation lah. Mungkin ada error apa. Siapa yang mungkin tak dapat tu mungkin salah kira ke apa. So it should give you the velocity at A is 1.2. So if you write all your work exactly the same like this, you will get mostly of the mark. Even though your value here different. Okay, maybe you salah kira ke apa, doesn't matter, but you will only lost 1 mark lah for the answer kan. But this answer will use to find the volume flow rate. Okay, for the second one they ask you to find volume flow rate. So Q dengan, okay, you can use the AAVA. AA, VA. You already have your VA. So AA pi pi times 0.15 kan. 0.15 squared times VA 1.2. So dapat tak jawapan dia? 0.084. Dapat dapat kan? Patutnya dapat lah. 0.135 squared times pi times 1.2. Itulah 0.084 Dapat volume flow rate. Betul tak ni? And they ask you to find volume flow rate because you have the VA, so you need to use AA lah, the area at A.
Betul sir.
Betul
Dapat sir.
0.084. Okay, again this question normally will give you 12 marks. So even though nampak macam panjang, nampak macam complicated, okay, but it's actually not. You just write your equation properly and replace any equation yang boleh kita replace lah. Macam tadi VB to replace in VA term kan. Okay, alright. So nombor berapa sekarang ni? 3 kita buat. 3. So question number 4. This is piezometer and pitot tube. Okay, and they ask you to find the velocity at the center of pipe. So they ask you to find V1 lah. Okay, because we know at this point the V2 is 0 kan. At stagnation point the V2 is 0. Okay, you can write your equation first, the continuity equation. A1 V1 equal to A2 V2. Okay, V1 equal to A2 V2 over A1. Okay, ni kosong lah betulnya sebab V2 kosong kan. But doesn't matter, make it a habit, just write your continuity equation because like previous example, you will use that continuity equation to replace back in your Bernoulli equation kan. That's why I always remind you to write your continuity equation. Secondly, your Bernoulli equation. Okay, again I think at this time, at this stage you should be ingatlah your Bernoulli equation. So P1 over rho G plus Z1 plus V1 squared over 2G equal to P2 over rho G plus Z2 plus V2 squared over 2G. Okay, because V2 is 0 kat sini, V2 is 0, and you need to remember this, and you need to know this. At any stagnation point the V2 is 0. If you don't know this, you will have a problem lah because you have more unknown parameters. That's why you need to understand that. So this is 0 and you can cancel out Z1 and Z2 as well because it is the same elevation. Okay, Z1 and Z2 you can cancel out. Alright, and that's all lah. Okay, now because you want to find V1, okay, so you bring your V1 at one side and bring your the other term in one side, and always remember because we have this pressure difference, so write your pressure difference in one side, P1 minus P2 over rho G equal to V1 squared over 2G. Okay, just cancel out G. Okay. So this is your equation lah. Okay, equation 2 ni 1, ni 2. Okay. Now you cannot solve this equation yet because you don't know P1 and P2. How to find P2, P1 and P2? Macam mana kita selesaikan P1 dan P2? Anyone?
Manometer analysis.
Okay, good. But this is not a manometer actually.
P1 equal P2.
Okay, P1 ke P2. Tapi ni macam bukanlah manometer sangat kan. So you what is the pressure at point 1? And point 2. Apa pressure dia? It's just rho GH term lah kan? Betul? Rho water times H dia kan? So P1 is equal to rho water times G times H. H dia adalah H1 plus H2 kan? Kat sini Betul? Can you follow that?
Boleh
Yes,
je.
sir.
Okay, so that will be 10 cm or 0.1 meter, and P2 rho GH term juga, and you have to include 12 lah, jadi panjang dia sampai sini height dia kan. Okay, so this is your P2. So rho of water G times 10 tambah 12 22 0.22, and this should give you what's the value for P1 and P2. P1 raw water 1000 times 9.81 times 0.1, berapa value dia? 100 kali 9.81 kan?
981.
Okay. And the second one, the P2 1000 times 9.81 times 0.22. Berapa value?
2.58.2.
2 point.
2158.2.
58.2. Okay, so you have your P1 and P2. Just put back in your equation. Okay. Oh, tak ada ruang kat sini So P1 981 minus 2158.2 divide by rho 1000 times 9.81, and this equal to V1 squared over saya dah potong G tak payah, tak kira ni, tak payah kira G ni, over 2. Okay. So berapa V1? Berapa V1? Dapat daripada ini negatif ni, dan A1 minus 2158. I think there's something wrong. P1 plus P1. Oh, okay. Can someone point out where did I do some mistake?
Negatif sir.
Huh?
Lupa letak negatif sir.
Kat mana? Sini
Equation
kan?
2.
Ni kan?
Ya.
But I bring P2 to the left side and V1 to the right hand side, so I should put negative lah. So this is that's why I get negative, and should be cancel out lah negative ni kat sini kan. Okay, so V1 berapa? Dapat tak 1.53?
Dapat sir.
Dapat So 1.53
Dapat je.
meter per second. Okay, so that's why you need to be careful when you so I did a mistake. Okay, see, when I bring the P2 to the other side and V1 to the other side, So I should put negative lah kat sini. So I miss the negative sign. That's why kalau tak ada sini salah Tapi boleh juga, because you said kan. Tapi salah lah sebenarnya. Okay, so don't forget your negative sign and whatever. Okay, so normally this question dapat 8 lah kot, sebab dia hanya minta hanya velocity and the jalan kerja tu pendek je, and this is 8 marks and you should get 8/8. Okay, alright. Susah ke sekarang? Susah ke senang?
Senang sir.
Senang
Senang je. 50-50 pun ada.
That's the spirit lah Everything is easy. Okay. Just trick your mind all is well. Right, I think maybe last question kot ada lagi kot, tapi nak habis lah masa. Okay, again, pitot static tube is used to measure the velocity for water flowing through a horizontal pipe as shown in figure. The manometer fluid ada row dia records a rise in height h of 5 cm. So bagi h ni 5 cm. Calculate the velocity of the fluid flowing through the pipe. So they ask you to find the V1 lah. Okay. So one question, what information we have from this picture? Apa yang kita boleh ni? Apa information that we have?
V2 0.
Yes.
Z0.
V2 is
V.
0 Remember any stagnation point, okay, this is static tube. Okay, this point at point 2, what we call as stagnation point, and the velocity is 0. Okay, so you need to know this. Alright, if not you will have a trouble lah, we have problem to solve this question. Okay, now you write your equation first. Continuity equation, A1 V1 equal to A2 V2 V1 A2 V2 over A1. Okay. Second one, your Bernoulli equation. Okay, what's the dah buruk tulisan. So what's the equation for Bernoulli? Can someone apa? Your Bernoulli equation?
P1 over rho G
P1 over rho G
plus Z1
Z1
plus V1 square over
V1
2G
over 2G, and then
equals to P2 over rho G
P2 over rho G
plus Z2
plus Z2
plus V2 square over 2G.
squared over 2G. Okay. Okay, because you take 2 point, 1.1 and 0.2, and this should be the Bernoulli equation should be same lah for both point. That's why you equate this equation. Okay, now because you said V2 is 0, that means you cancel out this. What else that you can cancel out?
Z1 and Z2.
Z2.
Yes, because the same elevation, so you can cancel out Z1 and Z2 term. So that will leave you only P1 minus P2. Okay, always make an habit to bring your P1 and P2 in one side, so that you can write in term of pressure difference. So P1 minus P2 over rho G equal to minus V1 squared over 2G. So this is your equation, your Bernoulli equation. And next, what we do? They ask you to find V kan? Yeah, bukan? Betul lah. Calculate the velocity of the fluid going to the pipe. So they ask you to find V. Okay, V apa? V1 lah. So normally, actually, I think this is better if you write like this lah. V1 squared over 2G equal to P2 minus P1 over rho G. Okay, so that you can simplify this term lagi. So V1 sama dengan potong G 2 times P2 minus P1. Okay, and set. Can betul? Understand this? I change back because the question want you to find velocity. That means the velocity 1. Okay, that's why you try to get your equation in term of what you want to find. Okay, so that's why you can get to salah V1 ni row tertinggal over row okay, so V1 squared sama dengan V1 squared over 2 equal to P1 minus P1 over row. Betul lah. So V1 2 times P2 minus P1 over row set. Alright. Okay, so this is your equation. So you don't know P2 and P1, so you need to write your manometer analysis kan. Okay, can someone write the manometer equation? Macam mana manometer equation kita? Rasa siapa? Volunteer?
P1 equal P2.
Okay, that's right. And what's the long manometer equation from this point until point 2, from point 1 until point 2? So you have this manometer, okay, and you need to write your manometer equation. And what's that?
P1
Okay, P1 plus
yang gelap tu apa?
gelap ni apa? Apa? Dia tulis apa?
Water.
Water.
Apa tu?
Ni water kan? Water.
Okay.
Okay, row water.
Water G
A. Okay, and then
plus
apa row satu gitu?
itu apa? Row mercury
Mercury Okay, row mercury.
Row mercury GH
Okay.
Minus
Row
row water
water.
A plus H.
G setengah G.
G.
H plus A. Okay. And then
Equal to P2.
Good. Now you want to get P2 minus P1 kan? Because you have this equation. So bring P1 to the other side. So what left here? Apa yang tinggal? Row water. Okay, GA boleh potong ni kan, GA kan. Ni tak adalah sebenarnya ada satu A sini kan. So left to you row mercury GH, okay, minus row water GH. Betul tak? Betul tak? Hilang lah. Siapa cakap tadi? Hello? Betul tak ni?
Betul.
Betul sir, dapat.
Okay, so what's the value for this? Row mercury 13,600 times G times H. They give you H 5 cm minus row water 1000 times G times H again 5 cm, and this will give you P2 minus P1. Berapa value P2 minus P1? Berapa dapat? Berapa nilai kat sini?
Satu 7 658.
17?
658.
658.
Dia punya H guna yang 5 cm je.
In meter
Nak
lah.
tukar meter
You need to change in meter. Don't forget that. Berapa ni? Betul ke tak 1768 ni?
Salah saya. Saya
Salah.
lupa tukar.
Okey, berapa jadi? Yang lain? Siapa dah kira?
6180.3.
6180.3. Okey, ada yang menyokong value ni? Dapat sama? Okay, if you get this value, then just bring back this value inside your equation to find V1. So V1 sama dengan 2 times 6 180.3 bahagi row 1000 rotor set salah apalah 2 dalam 2 sini. Berapa jadi V1? Dapat tak 3.52 ni?
Dapat sir.
Dapat So that means right. So the answer is 3.52 meter per second. Okay. Again, is it easy or difficult? Senang ke susah? Senang kan?
Boleh lah.
I take that as senang lah. Okay. So just remember to write your continuity equation, Bernoulli equation, and manometer analysis. So if you done this correctly, properly, you should should get full mark lah for this question. Okay, we have 5 more minutes. Do you want to continue, or I think that's fine for today. That's enough for today. There's few more questions. Semua sama je. The step is the same. How to solve the problem is the same. You just need to know the information that they gave to you. What you can cancel out, what you can put that as 0. So you need to know that. And then you can basically you can solve lah the question. Okay, so there are 2 more. 1 kat sini, 2, 3, 4, banyak lagi, 5. Awak buat lah awak buat kat rumah sendiri. Okay, and I also gave you another set of tutorial inside the classroom, in Google Classroom. You can do that as well. If you think the answer is wrong, okay, I just take the answer. If you think that the answer is wrong and you think your work is right, your answer is right, just let me know lah. Okay, and maybe the answer is wrong and we can correct the answer. Okay, can we do that? Boleh?
Boleh sir, boleh.
Boleh sir.
Okay. I think that's enough for today. If you have any question, just let me know. Okay, you can text me. You can always text me within the working hours. Alright. If you want to know the answers or you want to ask what is the problem with your work, just let me know. After 6, we not entertain any text or email. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention.